We broke this channel here, and so I figured I'd go live with the break of that channel. This is that kind of parabolic uptrend I was watching. I really just connected these 2 points here, this low here and this low here. We got below that, so now yeah, we're staring. I figured 52.8, 53 was in play for tonight for sure. So that's what we're staring in the face right now. I've got my orders still at. I think I've got an order at. I put them on that. Where'd the tweet go? Yeah, I've got orders at 47.9 and 46.6 before I go to bed here. I figured I'd light up a live stream here and talk about this for just a minute. See what we can kind of tell. But yeah, so those are my two, still my two levels. I haven't changed them, 47.9 and 46.6. By the end of this live stream, we'll just kind of see what price action is doing, and I might go modify or update my limit orders. I don't know yet. Let me take a look at the comments here, see what we got. Hold on, I gotta make this. Sorry guys, I gotta resize some stuff on my screen. It's really hard for me to see the comments right now. I got way too many windows open, like always. Yeah, so I got a little bit positioned. So I got very defensive. I closed all of my trades. I was 100% out of trades as of this morning. So no leverage trades open. Just totally thinking that this was probably going to happen here. And I actually sold. I'm going to tell you all this. Alan's going to be very upset at me, but I actually sold 10% of my Ethereum earlier into fiat to buy the dip on Bitcoin. The market's talking to us, guys. Ethereum is going to lag the rest of the cycle. I think it'll do well still, but I think you look at the Bitcoin chart here. This trend line right here, when we got below this is when I started getting really. This is why I decided right here as we were fighting with it, as we broke down below it, I sold 10% of my Ethereum to have a little bit more dry powder to buy the Bitcoin dip. That's going to go into Bitcoin. So that and then my trade profits. I've taken my trade profits from this last round of trading. So my trade profits and 10% of my Ethereum are now queued up on those limit orders. If I don't get them tonight, then I'll have lost out. But I still think, based on where we're at right now, if we recover and continue up to 70,000, 72,000, the sell-off from 72,000 is going to be nasty. It's going to be like a 40%er, about like this right here. I mean, it's going to look similar to this probably, right? And all in all, what did that end up being? From 42 down to about 30%. Yeah, it's about 30%. So let's go look at that real fast. This is the thing, like right now where we're at 56,000, where we were at earlier at 58,000, when I started getting really defensive. 57,000 is when I really started getting defensive, actually, is that upper end of this trend line here, this outside trend line that I drew. What was I going to say? Where am I going with this thought? Oh, let's go measure what kind of sell-off we get if we hit 70 and then had a 30%er. I haven't measured that yet, actually. Let's just put it right at 70 and let's go 30 down. Yeah, so when we get the next 30% sell-off, it should happen right around 70,000. That'll put us back down to 49K anyway. So I've kind of gotten defensive here just because I think there's a 20% shakeout that we can take advantage of. And then when we get above 70, which we'll probably get above 70, if we get a good shakeout here and we get a little bit, if we get a good shakeout here, we won't stop it right at 70. It'll go on to 72 or 74, maybe even 80. Before it really starts to consolidate, and then we'll be able to trim some there and catch the next 30% sell-off. That's kind of my plan. But yeah, right now I knew even if at 58,000, even if we just kept running all the way to 70 or 72, a 30% sell-off is going to put us back below this level at some point. So I'd be able to catch this dip. And where we're at in the cycle right now, I don't care about buying 8 or 10% dips like I did earlier. Down here, you guys probably saw me post that I bought a couple of these dips because we were just coming out of this consolidation. So those are awesome dips to buy because we were just leaving some consolidation. So catching dips all through here. But now that we've really started to make a solid leg up, trying to catch 10% dips is not what I want to be. I want to be waiting for those 20 or 30%ers. So I do think a 20%er is still in play. Is it going to happen tonight or start tonight and into early this week? I don't know. The on-chain metrics, so much money was flowing to exchanges A lot of Bitcoin was moving to exchanges, and I heard it was, I guess F2 pool was the culprit. People were saying was moving a lot of Bitcoin to exchanges, and they were maybe going to do a dump and buy. I don't know. I don't watch stuff that closely. I just know money was flowing to exchanges, and I saw on the charts. Obviously, look at this 3-day. I'm gonna go to a neutral chart real fast. Then I'll go look at comments for you guys. But I'm just giving you all my mindset here of why I thought we were heading for a sell-off. All right, the 3-day chart. You saw, these are really big green candles. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 green candles in a row. Big. Mostly big green candles on the 3-day. Anytime, even in the bull market, anytime you have that, you get a fake out somewhere along the way there. Almost always. Almost always. And this is that fake out I talked about before right here. On the 3-day, we pushed up, and I think we sold off. We sold off really hard to that 27 level. This, I think, is going to be a short fake out. I don't think it's going to last long. I think it's just going to be a really quick rip down to the high 40s and then back up. So I'm just hoping to catch that real quick dip. We'll see. All right, let's check comments. Hey yo, hey Robert, almost first. Yo Vern, hey, thoughts of ETH and Link in terms of trades? So ETH and Link are lagging. I think Link specifically is just between. And he versus BTC is looking rough. Let's take a look at the versus the BTC chart. I just had this discussion in the Telegram group too. I was explaining why I look at the BTC charts, because in just real quick summary, in one place this tells me how Link is performing versus BTC without having to do calculations of Link versus USD and then Link versus or BTC versus USD, and like just in one place I can see that Link is overall up versus Bitcoin. It's appreciating versus Bitcoin, but it's probably should draw another channel coming in here. Maybe you kind of see that starting to form. This lower part of this channel. It's in an uptrend, but it just spikes so hard. I think we're just between hype cycles on it, and this could go on for months before we get a really huge pump. So we might not, in this early altcoin FOMO phase, we might not get a huge pump versus Bitcoin until after. After Bitcoin starts its sell-off. No problem. Take a look at this, Brennan. Rejected right off the line. What was Chris? What are we talking about? What was rejected off of what line? Oh, hey, let me post real fast on Twitter that I went live. I always forget to do that. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. I was actually studying, but I had a few minutes here, so I need to go to bed soon. So this is gonna be quick tonight. All right. So looking at the Bitcoin chart. Okay, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. What are we listening to? My Synthwave music. All right. I need to put that off the screen. Sorry, guys. Too many things going on here. All right. Yeah. Is it back into my trend line that I had there, and then back down? Yeah. Yeah. The trend lines. Look. I drew this purple trend line. When the price action was down here at 56 or so, right? And you see it touch, and I knew when that purple broke. So I posted that thing on Twitter earlier when I saw us come into this, and I was like, I'm gonna watch what happens. And I got the post ready. It's like, yep, and it started to sell off, and that's when I posted it. Like, yep, it's gonna hit that and sell off. And then especially when it dropped below this purple line, and we got that resumption down there. I'm a really low time frame on the 12-minute right now, and then we've just been these trend lines I've had on here for forever. I'm gonna look at the 12-minute. Look how magical these trend lines are. Just touch. A little bit of a bounce there into that resistance, bouncing all around those trend lines. That's CTM for you. I've gotten better with my trend lines since joining the CTM program. That's for sure. I see things. I just see things more clearly now because I'm not trying to use all these crazy. You know what? Another thing for CTM. Another shout out for Jordan's trading program and Jordan's methodology in general. You know, I used to use a lot. Y'all have probably seen I've quit using my SMAs nearly as much because I'm getting more comfortable just using just price. Like, frankly, I draw a lot of these lines on there more for posts than I actually prefer to do it looking at this. I can see everything, like all those lines. I can see it. I can see it without even the lines on there. I don't need all these stinking lines and junk everywhere. I put them on here more for posts. Just looking at price action, you can just see all this stuff happening. Let's go to this clean chart. Like, you can see it all. Just looking at this. It is helpful to have some like light, but I've made all these super colorful lines mostly for posts and for YouTube. Like, I used to have, like, my lines used to look like this. If I was going to draw a trend line before. My trend lines, I'm just going to make a quick ugly one, but my trend lines always look like this. Like, where's that tan color? I used to use a tan color. Where's it at? Is that it? Something like that. And I was like, yeah, these are my trend lines. That's all I used to have on my charts. And then I had my low moving averages. That was about all I used. But yeah, with CTM program, definitely, and just like be on Jordan's live streams, you just see things more clearly because you don't have all these crazy indicators. You're not using MACD and Bollinger Bands and all this, you know, crazy instruments that are just confusing you. You just look at price. Price candles. Obviously, Heath helps a lot too. He's taught me a lot about, you know, really improving my ability to see liquidity on a short term, like where participants are going to be looking to, you know, place stop losses and things like that. For example, I just threw those on there real fast. Now those are helpful. Those, I like horizontals a lot more than I like trend lines. I normally trade around horizontals and patterns more than actually trend lines. Like, I just see this, it's consolidation. Expansion, consolidation, expansion, consolidation, expansion, consolidation. That's all it is. All right, it's like seeing the matrix, man. When you get the CTM methodology and you get it down, it's like just see it, charts. Looking at charts is like seeing the matrix. It's crazy. All right, thoughts on DOT. I love DOT. I was dead wrong on DOT, so you know I'm right sometimes, I'm wrong a lot, and I was wrong on DOT early on. The more I've studied it, the more I've come. I'm quickly building it into. It's going to be, when it's all said and done, it'll be my third largest position behind BTC, ADA, and then DOT, and then Link, and then Ethereum will be probably last when it's all said and done. And the reason is I'm moving a lot of my funds. So with my ETH was my number 2, right? Coming into this, it was my number 1. In the summertime, I had like 70% ETH. Of course, I've rotated a lot of other investments over to crypto too. So, you know, I bought BTC mostly with that stuff. So that's why BTC is such a huge portion. But ETH was my number 1 by far. And I've slowly been moving out of ETH into Bitcoin, ADA, DOT, Link. But now I'm buying a lot of these layer 2 solutions. So I'm buying Matic, Ren, SNX, and LRC. LRC is going to be my 6th biggest. It is my 6th biggest now, HODL bag. And I'm growing that one. I'm constantly looking for opportunities. I actually was looking at this breakout here to try to buy me some more. I'm watching to see what happens here. As soon as we get a resumption off of this this bottom here, I'm gonna try to pick up a little more. I'll buy this on the 12-hour for these like longer term position trades where I'm trying to build up my positions. But I'm going to be buying some more LRC. I'm going to be buying it pretty aggressively. It's going to become about a 3 or 4% HODL position for me. But yeah, so I'm moving what used to be a big secondary position in crypto and ETH. I'm moving quickly to, obviously ADA is my number 2 now by a long shot. DOT, Link, and then layer 2 scaling solutions. I'm spreading my money across, or what used to be ETH. I'm spreading my ETH across LRC, Matic, Ren, SNX, and I don't know about Balancer so much. Balancer's another one to look at. But those are my plays right here. These. I don't know why I have XRP on here. I hate XRP. Just need to, I leave the XRP on here just to laugh at the chart every once in a while. That's cute. Keep losing versus Bitcoin. All right. I love DOT though. Algo and XML beat my brains in. Just capitulated. Oh man, sorry. I have a tiny bit of Algo. I've had Algo for like that bag I've had for. It's on a wallet somewhere. I've been holding Algo for 3 years probably. I bought it in the bear market, the beginning of the bear market. XLM, what's XLM been doing? I don't have a hodl bag on XLM. I just trade it. It's purely just a trade for me. I don't hold it. I don't care about it that much to hold it. 200 EMA 5x. Historically, if we reject, we get 30% insurrection, same as pi cycle indicator. Yeah, I can sleep in 2020. Thanks, Fern. Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm sorry, Chris. Let's go to their website. Look into yeah, okay, got it. Sorry. And thank you, Chris. I'm sorry I didn't get your, I was just stupid. The 200 EMA one? This one right here? Am I looking at the right one, Chris? And this is going to be a lag, I'm sorry. So your comments are like significant lag behind what I'm talking about. So I kind of have to just wait and see. Investor tool? I don't use this site much, I'm sorry, I just don't. Investor tool? I don't know where that is. I just go to their chart. This is all I ever use. I just go to their website and click on charts. It's called the investor tool. Thank you, sir. Oh, that one. Okay. I will Google that. Hold on. Investor tool. This one right here, the investor tool 2-year MA multiplier. Oh, it's the very first one. Duh. Oh, when we cross that, did we just cross that? Not quite. Yeah, okay. Tuesday at 30%. Yeah, we'll get, I mean, I think what's happening right now is a shakeout. I really do. I don't think it's a sell-off. I think it's a shakeout. Like, here, I don't know if you all saw my tweet. Here's what I was getting at. And I actually, so to be totally honest, I didn't see this other. I didn't really remember this sell-off that I'm going to show you until after I had posted that on Twitter. Or I posted about like a couple days ago on Twitter. I said I can just feel a shakeout coming. And I was looking in the chart. I was like, all right, let me just try to find an example, because they've happened a million times, obviously, on Bitcoin. Let me just try to find a really good example recently, and this is the perfect one. Like, this is exactly what I was thinking something like this was about to happen, and then I found this, like, perfect example. All right, great. So we broke, when we broke 20K here, right? So we were fighting with, I'm just going to draw some lines for you guys. We were fighting with 20K. Here's the prior all-time high, basically. We were fighting with that. And then we went on this, we had some good consolidation periods. And then we went on this nice big ramp. And then we hit 34K. And then we had this this is the type of shakeout I'm talking about. So we hit 34K and this shakeout all the way down to, 27K. And I didn't really remember that even happened. I still don't. I still don't remember. I'm like, apparently on January 3rd, we had this big sell-off. And I'm sure people were freaking out. And we were probably... I don't know if I bought the dip on that. I don't remember this at all. But that's a good example of what I'm talking about. That's, these shakeouts happen all the time. That's what I kind of felt was coming, where it's a very quick, sharp sell-off and reversal. Now, was this that FUD? There was some FUD around this date. I forgot what the FUD was. It's obviously FUD related on that sell-off. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was the Bitcoin hack supposedly that caused that, or if that was over here maybe. I don't remember. People were freaking out about the, so I'm going to switch my music. people were really worried about that double spend, quote unquote, issue, which wasn't a thing. All right, go back to comments here. Oh, the tether FUD. Yeah, maybe that was what that was. Thank you. All right, let's zoom back out on this thing. Yeah, that's kind of when we go parabolic there, right? Above that red line. I gotta tell you, I don't use this site much because it's just... There's a lot of really good data on here. This is what I care about. And we haven't crossed yet, so... This one's pretty good, though. Yeah, I mean, we need some consolidation, though. A good shakeout's it's just healthy. It's not like it's that bad. It's just healthy. All right, back to comments. What's your take on Dash? Dash is useless. Sorry, it's useless. Oh, no, I take that back. I do believe Dash has some privacy capabilities that they layer on top. It's useful if you care about privacy currency. If you want to be involved in a project that has privacy, my favorite player in that space is Monero XMR because it's native, it's built in. You don't have to enable like a privacy transaction like Zcash and Dash. I believe you can specify, and you can send funds more or less anonymously, but you have to specify that. I'd rather just use, if I'm going to try to, if I want to be invested in a project that is focused on privacy, I'd rather just be in the one that's the whole project's built around that, and that being Monero. So, yeah, my preferred stablecoin is Gemini USD, GUSD, and I avoid Tether at all costs. I don't mind DAI if you have to use it. So DAI is okay. USDC is my secondary, which I use a lot because a lot of places just don't do Gemini USD. But if I'm going to park money in a stablecoin, it's pretty much I only use USDC for transferring. If I'm going to transfer fiat from exchange to exchange, I'll use USDC because it's a little bit faster too. It's got access. It snaps into like Algorand and a few other faster chains too. So I've got my rum here. It's late night crypto and rum, so I'm sipping on some rum. Let's go back to my chart here. Yeah, we got a ways to go. Like, I could probably draw on some Heath levels. You can see right here, the market reversed at this level back on the 20th. A little bit of a sell-off, and then it reversed and got a really strong green candle right there. Let's see if we find some support right there. That's 55,241. And then obviously the next level of support's where that wick hit right there. Zoom in on that, get that wick. Those are the areas to watch. 53,983, and then the last level would be if we come into this trend line down here. Let's put it at 52,340. And we very well might stop at one of these. I mean, there's nothing that says that we have to get a sell-off like I'm thinking, right? The market could catch at any one of these levels. Michael Saylor's out there with the $1.2 billion worth of funds to buy stuff. That's not enough. That is not enough. He's not going to deploy it all in one moment to save the sell-off. Or I hope he wouldn't. I thought Michael was really smart when I saw him raising capital. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of seeing like this. I wonder if he's got some technical analysis. Who's like, you know what, Michael? We need to get some more money because we're going to get the last dip below 50K is coming up here. We're going to get a dip to like 48K or something. We need to buy all we can right there. It's like, this very well is the last time we're going to hit sub 50. This next sell-off right now. If we get a good shakeout right now and we go sub 50 and hit 47 or something, and then resume up, that shakeout will help propel us to the mid 70s, and then it'll save a 40% sell-off later. I think ADA can hit $10 at a parabolic blow off top. It'll be way over done at that point, but I'll be out of it too before it hits 10. Like if it hits $10, I'll probably have sold most everything. I don't like Tezos. I think it's useless. It's an inferior next-gen blockchain, Tezos is. They do staking, that's like all they do. They were like baking, like their whole like baking thing. They were like early to staking, but you know, you can stake and get returns on so many assets so many different ways now, so it kind of faded. Let's look at their chart. Where's XTZ at? Right here. Yeah, it's just, I've been saying for forever it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's just losing versus Bitcoin. Now there's a difference. I said this earlier. Like, I really focus on the Bitcoin charts if I'm looking at like my hodl buy. What I'm holding better be beating Bitcoin, or I don't want to hold it. Now, looking at like XTZ UST, you might get some opportunities to trade it. You know, and the yeah. So like, there's probably some really good technical setups. Like right here, you can see this. You know, a little bit of consolidation we had right through here. But, you know, and you could have maybe played this breakout. The beautiful breakout retest resumption, played this, you know. Trade's over though. You should have got out up here. That's pretty clear as day to me. Yeah. So see, right, I'm gonna slice it right through here. When you got above this level and then got below and got your resumption signal, this is when you should have got out. It's a beautiful trade though. I mean, it's from 3 to 450. Oh, it's a tradable asset, but it's like for holding it, I wouldn't hold it. Kind of like, it's just like Stellar. Stellar, I trade the heck out of it. It trades really well, and it's going to pump well at different phases, but I won't hold it because I just don't have any belief in it long term. XR. Okay, let me just make sure I'm not missing Tether FUD. So, Mark, I hope that answers your question on Tezos. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but just how I feel about it. Any thoughts on 0x? Derek's asked twice on that, so let me give him an answer on 0x. I don't even know. It's not coming to my mind what 0x is right now. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. OX. I'm not excited about exchanges. I'm not. Okay, people get all excited about these decentralized exchanges, DEXs. I hold 0 Uniswap. Sushi was my preferred play, and they had some really good trades on Sushi. Sushi was a good, yeah. Sushi's my preferred if you're going to get into a decentralized exchange. I'm not excited about them. It's a race to zero. The whole point of a decentralized exchange is to be a decentralized, you know, version of like what we have on our central exchanges. Centralized exchanges are a race to zero. And they have to, like, nowadays, exchanges have to make money other ways other than exchange fees. And now you can make money on the spread, but with a decentralized exchange, you know, where's the value in the protocol and the system? I mean, the idea of a decentralized exchange, especially on when next gen platforms become more prevalent. This might be a giant bull flag on Sushi, by the way, too. I don't really know, but the problem is it's a race to zero. Decentralized exchanges are basically going to become and it's going to be built in like next gen platforms. So, for example, Cardano, it's going to eat centralized exchange lunches because you can deploy native tokens on the main settlement layer on Cardano, and you don't have to build like a ERC20 or token, or you don't have to deploy a contract to deploy a new asset. You can just deploy it natively. That means that you can exchange tokens at the same fee of like, so transferring Cardano, which is, you know, less than a penny per transaction. It's like, you know, if it is over a penny, I don't even know. It's negligible, the cost of a transfer. It's the same cost as a transfer to the exchange. So, you know, Cardano's going to eat the decentralized exchanges for lunch. So I just don't care about decentralized exchanges. Like, so, hey Tanner. So what was I saying about? Are you still in Reef? Yeah, I still have a small amount of Reef. So yeah, but DEXs just don't excite me. And like they're tradable, but I don't hold a single one. Let's see, Reef looks good. I've been wanting to look at Reef to add to it. Honestly, Reef is one I want to add a little bit to here. Let's see what we got. Looks really good, actually. I'm liking this consolidation right here. This is great. This is beautiful. Looks like we're trying to break out of this consolidation maybe a bit. I don't know. Do some work on this chart. Yeah, so Reef is a hodl bag for me. I don't really trade it. I just, every time I see an opportunity to buy, I just add a little bit. It's like tiny amounts though. Put it in my little side holdings here. Yeah, it looks like a good consolidation pattern here forming on Reef versus Bitcoin, which is what I care about. So we get a little breakout, retest resumption on that. Maybe I'll look to add. I'll keep an eye on it. I don't have it on this list though. Yep, BTC shaking out. Go back to my tweet here. Let's see what we said here. People probably let's see if anybody's like retweeted my thing yet. Alright, what do I have in my chart? I deleted all the stuff, the work I did on that chart, so I gotta go pull up my actual tweet to get my chart here. Hold on. See where we're looking for levels. There we go. There's my tweet. Alright. What did I see on this chart? 47.9, 46.6. Alright, let's go back to the BTC chart. We got a ways to go. 55.2, 53.9, and 52.3 are the levels that we could catch. If we don't catch any of those levels, you know, there's a bunch more levels we could probably start to figure out. We could draw. It might not make it. Like it doesn't have to make it all the way to this trend line. Most likely, if we break this trend line here, we're going to this one, right? That's just the most likely scenario. This middle trend line isn't also super clean. Actually, now I'm looking at it, it's like there's a bunch of ways you can draw this. This is just kind of a general guide for me. What I'm doing is I'm looking at those touches there, and there, and there. So yeah, that's where I like putting it, right about here. I mean, this is not. The thing about trend lines is I don't. Unless it's the outer ones, I don't really care to be super like. It's going to be really hard to find to be super accurate. What I care more about is getting the absolute outer ones, because then a breakout, you know, that you can track that much more closely. But when you're inside these channels, it's a little bit harder to track exactly what's going on. All right, back to comments. I got all kinds of. Did I answer your question on 0x? So O1 exchange, like I think it's good. I think it's you know. You notice I took it off my chart because I just don't care about DEXs. So I trade Uni. If it's got a setup, I'll trade it. You know, and Uni is the one that's available on Kraken for me. So that's the one I trade. It's the DEX that I trade. I don't hold a single DEX because again, like I think these next gen platforms are going to destroy. You know, they're not going to make any money and they're not going to be worth much really. All right. Okay, true, thanks. So what are your thoughts on Theta? So many partnerships already. My problem with Theta is I don't understand why, like I haven't researched it enough to see what they're doing with blockchain specifically, but Theta is a decentralized video, right? I'm not losing, I'm making sure I get this right. Theta and T-Fuel, it's the video, it's like the decentralized YouTube, right? Yeah, video streaming. My problem with it is that you can build a decentralized version of this using, like, we've had the capabilities for this using open source software, you know, for years. So building a decentralized peer-to-peer video streaming service, that we don't need a cryptocurrency for that. Now, I guess the cryptocurrency obviously powers, it helps to match a decentralized asset for exchanging and paying for services on the network. But you know, I don't see the marriage of a blockchain. I would say like yes, a blockchain powered purpose built video stream. So the blockchain itself is horrible for something like video streaming. So what I haven't read up on is I don't understand why we would be using a blockchain for a decentralized streaming service. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. The blockchain is super inefficient for these type of things. This music, my music turned to something that I don't. It's like weird music. Now hold on, switch music again. Yeah, so that's my problem with it. It's like the technology, like blockchain's not well suited for this, and like the storage too, like the file coin thing. I haven't spent any time really understanding if there's something going on here that maybe I'm missing. But just right off the bat, I haven't read too much into it because I just don't understand why we would mirror a blockchain with a decentralized streaming service. Like, it doesn't, like, it's super inefficient for that. That's my problem with it. So I don't understand it. I don't understand what the point is. Good night, Enoch. Litecoin's mumble wibble updates thoughts. Litecoin's terrible and it's gonna die. So I trade it though. I put a trade on Litecoin. I have it up here. I did trade it. I did get into, I forgot where it was. Gus in our Telegram group our Discord channel was talking about it. It's he's Truth Capital, but he's got a YouTube channel too. So he posted, the setup was there. It was a good setup. So I did take the setup. I took profit and into 230. I took 50% off in 230. My other take profit target was 250. We never got there, so as we dropped back below, I also took profit as we came back into 230 on the way down. So I basically took opened the trade at I don't even know where it was, just somewhere down here. Took profit at 230. But yeah, I'll only trade it. Litecoin's useless. It has no long-term utility or purpose in the world. All right, did we get caught? Look at that. That line that I drew, we caught right there. We got a little reversal right there at it. So yeah, we hit 55,241, which is this liquidity zone right here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, right there. You see? So the market pushed up above it on the 19th and 20th, and then sold off to it, and then participants kind of pretty bought it up pretty strongly right there at 55,241. You see that big green candle indicates there was a lot of buyers coming in to save it right there. But it did drop below it here, and I don't think that this is going to be a big enough support level to hold this impending sell-off for tonight. But, it could. It could. Could be wrong. Michael Seiler could be there like, no, we're going to hold the line here. We're going to dump 1.3 billion right now at 55,280. I don't know. I'm just kidding. That's not how the market actually works. All right. If you take a look at MFT, yeah. And I'm sorry. A lot of times when I look at these for the first time, I can only give you a general. Don't take if you're really excited about a project, and I kind of if it's one that I know well, like Litecoin, then you can trust that I don't think it's going to give you long-term returns. It's tradable, but it's not something to give you long-term. But if it's something I don't really know much about, and I go take a quick look at it, and I got to poo-poo it, I don't know, I don't really like it, I don't see I could be dead wrong. It's happened to me a bunch. I'm initially I just don't see it, and then the market shows me that it's interested, and I do some research, and I go, so I'll look at it here, but I don't know anything about it. It's number 152. I've maybe seen it on the list. I'm not even sure. Previously mainframe, decentralized ERC20 token. Mainframe protocol, secure platform communications that's not restricted by censorship. Okay, so it's an anti-censorship deal. He probably does not aim to completely replace the way finance is done at present. MT token seeks to utilize the potential blockchain technology for personal data purposes. I have heard of this. Okay, so it was rebranded. It was just called Mainframe before, MFT. It's called Hi-Fi Finance now. I have heard of this. I've heard of one a lot like it. I haven't heard of this one. Oh yeah, I'm looking at this now. This is looking familiar. Cool. It looks like it might be useful in the real world if you really are needing some privacy. And right now, the other thing about crypto is privacy is probably really good. Anonymity is probably really good, just because there's going to be a lot of scams around crypto as the bull market heats up here. So anything we can do to add a layer of security and an anonymity for people to make it harder for bad actors. But that's not really the purpose of this. I think it's worthwhile. Here's the problem. I weigh everything on what's the market potential. What is the total addressable market for this type of thing? You know, what's the total addressable market for privacy? What's the best analog we can give it in the legacy traditional world, right? I don't know. I can't think of a good analog. I don't know too many privacy. I'm just trying to think of like an equity that's similar. But I don't think that let's put it this way. From what I'm reading right now, I don't see the market potential as anywhere near the bigger projects we talk about. So that's kind of what my thoughts are. Like I don't. It looks like it's pumped pretty good though. Yeah, I don't know. The question I would ask is, what is the total addressable market? It's currently on a market cap of $180 million. $180 million, which is pretty small, really. What's the total addressable market for this type of thing? If it becomes the dominant player in that addressable market, where would the market cap be? I think you can gauge your, if you think it's going to be the dominant player in the privacy coin space, and because it's got some unique something it does, or maybe it opens up new doors, maybe it's innovating and it's creating a new market, whatever. What is the total market that you think, total addressable market for that, and then figure out what the market cap would be if it was totally dominant in that space. I have no idea. I don't know the upsides as big. All right. There you go, Fujinami. Sorry. I hope that answered your question on hi-fi. On the charts, let's look at the charts. This hi-fi thing, MFT, BTC. Or I'm just gonna look at the USD charts for you because BTC chart might not give us a very fair look at this moment in time. It's definitely, the market likes it. Let's see, here's go back a long ways in time. Yeah, the market's good with it. I mean, it's in the hit. So since 2018, so I go back. What am I looking at? The Bittrex feed. It's definitely been pumping here lately. From a technical perspective, I'm gonna go to the 12 hours, which is my preferred trade. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. It looks solid. So maybe this is worth looking more into. But here's why I say it looks beautiful. Consolidation, 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 consolidation. You've got really good support coming through here at multiple of these levels. I'm getting really busy on this chart. Now, of course, at some point, you go back in time, you get a turnaround. But you're in an uptrend right now, so what you do is you buy off support on an uptrend. And if, with trade and risk management, if you're wrong, then you're going to get out of a trade. And the same general rules obviously apply if you're doing like a hold position. That's the line that's got a hold right now, right there. So it looks really good. I like it. I think the chart looks good. It needs this sell-off. I would wait until after Bitcoin recovers here in the next few days after the sell-off, when Bitcoin retakes the price, and then watch. For right now, you're probably going to lose this level, and you're going to be. This is potentially a head and shoulders though too. All right. So you got to watch that neckline. So that level's got to hold, and it's not going to hold right now. So it looked really good. Everything in crypto is going to sell off. So what you're going to look for next is it's going to sell off. I think obviously we broke that. What you're going to look for is what level is it going to catch. So if this is it's not really a head and shoulders. I wouldn't call it a head and shoulders, but just for the sake of like discussing how we might look at the downside of this, let's measure. The reason I don't like it, it's not a head and shoulders because this is higher than this. But you get the idea. Let's measure this real fast for you. All right, let's just pretend it's a head and shoulders, and I'm gonna show you why I'm pretending it's a head and shoulders. It's like a, I don't know. But I'm gonna measure from this peak to what I'm gonna call the neckline, and we're gonna make the neckline actually the line that I drew, just to give us the biggest. It's a 35%. So an extra 35%, 70%. Lowest level this is gonna go to is 0.006. And it's not even, what is this thing? 2 cents? A penny? 2 cents? My goodness. Yeah. So you're going to come all the way back down here most likely, which is kind of rough. So you got to hold this level. So you can look to maybe buy support at that level, but the problem is by that point you've done so much damage. You need to identify an uptrend. So if it does fall here, you're looking for a couple of things. You're looking for it to either hold this level and this to be a big wick and it bounce right back up, or you're looking for this kind of formation here that we have to snap and it to come back to another level of support. And I like that level there that I kind of roughly drew. Go back in time to see what we got. You might get support a little bit higher, but yeah, this is perfect. This is what I would do. You see this level right here and this level, which are going to be support, but it's not going to hold, probably. All right, cool. So what we're going to do here is that sell-off level. Let's go back. There's our sell-off level. Let me delete this. That's a bit extended. The neckline is actually probably up here. So let's just be fair. So the neckline is this right here. Just remeasure that for you real fast. That's let's just say 30, so 60%. Let's go 60. Yeah, so you could catch it that line right there. All right. So what you're looking for is you're looking for it to catch wherever it catches, and you're looking for it to retake and then resume up out of there. So if you actually sell off all the way down to like this 1 cent level, basically, it might be a better place to look. If you get down here and it holds and it resumes up, then you're looking for the next entry after that. So you're going to be still in an uptrend in the very long term. This is kind of your parabolic trend line. You've lost your parabolic trend line. Let's find another trend line we can work with. Ooh, I don't know if we're going to find one. Maybe this. I got it right here. So look for something like this to retake. I mean, I would spend, if I was seriously interested in this, I would probably spend an hour or two doing what I'm doing right now with you guys, just like live. But I would spend like an hour working on this and figuring out, really, really analyzing why price did what it did through what level. But here's how I would deal with this. I would look to see what price did as it came into that trend line that I just drew. I'm guessing it's going to lose that and come back down here and consolidate. And I want it to retake that trend line and then show me that it's going to resume up that general uptrend that we had. If I get that, then I'm back in. Right? So you're going to lose this. You're going to drop out here probably. You should have been out of the trade if you're like trading it. This is the time to get out probably. And see if it catches this trend line or that horizontal. And then wait for a resumption. Best case scenario, well, I mean, if you do come down to this trend line, you're going to see it ping-ponging around, and you're going to be able to draw like a parallel trend line. Watch. So do something like this, and you'll be able to find a parallel trend line somewhere. And when you get above the second top of that parallel trend line, then you can, okay, I'm back in an uptrend, and you can re-enter your trade, if that makes sense. So this is our parabolic trend line that we're watching. It's going to lose it, probably. And it could just be a wick down. It might recover. Right? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to try to predict what's going to happen per se, but yeah. So likely, it depends on what Bitcoin does entirely. I think it's just following Bitcoin at this point in time, but it's likely going to come back to this and get rejected, and then that's when you really need to be out. If on a shorter time frame, like a 4-hour, and we fell below it hard right here as Bitcoin's selling off. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Okay. All right. That was some analysis on that chart for you. I hope that helped. Did we look at Litecoin? Yeah, I did look at Litecoin. I don't like Litecoin. I just trade it when there's a technical setup. I've been out of the trade since 2:30. And like Litecoin versus USD, there's some good trade setups. It's gonna be an analog and follow Bitcoin pretty closely. So I mean, it's tradable because of that, but it's really just I mean, you might as well just trade Bitcoin because it's just gonna do what Bitcoin does. And to a lesser degree, it's like a deleveraged trade on Bitcoin. It's like a 0.5 trade. Let's go back here. Where's LTC BTC? Where's that at? No, here. I've got this. This is the direction that Litecoin's going. It's losing value versus Bitcoin. So if you're going to hold it for a long period of time, you just get out of it because it's going to keep doing this. Bitcoin is the better trade, right? Bitcoin is outperforming Litecoin. That's what this chart shows us very clearly, very simply. Bitcoin is vastly outperforming Litecoin. So if you're looking at like a holding it, it's no good. Get out. But if you're trading it, you know, the USD chart presents some trade opportunities as it kind of loosely follows, and every once in a while it will. Like, so what I did is I took the trade on the USD chart. I opened my trade. I think I opened the trade right here, and I got out at 230. So that's a nice little trade. You know, I think I got out of this confirmation signal here. I got in a trade at like 188 and traded up to 230. Decent little trade. Where was I going with this comment? I don't remember. Oh, every once in a while I'll outperform Bitcoin for a very short period of time. So that's what I was seeing on this chart over here. On the Bitcoin chart, what I was seeing is, okay, we are in this downtrend channel. However, likely we came into the bottom here. This is that white line. That's exactly. So I drew this white line. As we came off of this white line down here, that's where I entered the USD trade. It's like, okay, not only is Litecoin have a good setup on the USD chart, it's also come into a bottom support on the Bitcoin chart. So likely it's going to come into the top end of this channel and out and appreciate Bitcoin. So a leveraged trade in Litecoin is going to perform better than a leveraged trade in Bitcoin. So it's now worth me trading for this very short period of time. As it comes into this lower trend line, I'm going to play this bounce, this upper trend line. That's exactly what I did. So you get the idea, right? So I basically, what I got when I saw a resumption off of this lower area, I was going to play Litecoin versus USD, but knowing that Litecoin was probably going to outperform Bitcoin in a very short period of time. And it did. And it was a good trade. But that was just a trade, and I got out. And I'm out. It's Link, not Litecoin. But Litecoin has no utility. It's like, it's not, it's going to go the way of the dodo. So don't hold it. Simple as that. ADA, VET, and ZIL. Yeah, VET's good. I closed out a VET on this spike here. I actually got 100% out of VET. So this spike at 0.125, somewhere up here, I got it out 100%. It's because it had such a huge run, and I was looking to buy back. I was looking to buy back at 96, but we never got, very similar to that analysis I was doing earlier on, I forget what coin it was we were looking at earlier. I never got confirmation that we were going to resume up out of here. I was actually tracking. You see, I'm tracking this down. So because we had this big pop, I took profits into that resistance at 125 right there. I've never bought back into my VET because it's never shown me that it's going to resume up. That's versus Bitcoin. Like I sold it for Bitcoin up here, and the only way I'm going to use my Bitcoin to buy back VET is if VET's going to outperform Bitcoin, right? And it's currently not, so I'm not in VET anymore until it shows me that it's going to outperform again. LRC. So I was saying I was watching that. Okay, Tanner asked about our TM. All right, TM. Let's take a look at your LBC. I have no idea what this is. I'm guessing it's some ridiculous, silly thing that you came up with. It looks not great versus Bitcoin. What is LBC? Is this related to sports? I bet it's related to sports. Library credits. What is this? 289. I don't even know what this is, man. Oh, digital content. Okay. All right. Yeah, that might have some real world use case. Is it an ERC20 on? All right, I'll have to read up on it. Okay, so it's simple enough though. It's a digital content thing. Is that right, Tanner? LBC USD. Do I have a USD chart on it? Not like it's too short. Like this chart I don't like. It's just way too short. Like, hold on, is there another like a longer one? Look at the tether chart. There we go. That's better. Oh, it's going up. Hey, look at that. Stair step. The problem with these stair step patterns is you get too many of those and you're kind of in unknown territory. These are beautiful consolidation patterns, so this is super tradable. It's obviously been trading. The last couple have been beautiful trading opportunities getting out of here. A little bit there. That's the daily. The 12 hour, I'm struggling with what the heck's going to happen here. 8 hour, 4. I need to go to the 4 hour to this. What do I see? I don't know what I see. It's one of those, I don't have an answer for you on the technicals. I don't see what's, I have no edge here. I don't know what the heck's going to happen right here. I don't see a bull flag. I mean, you kind of did, and it broke out, retest. All right, maybe that's what's going on here. This looks like, okay. So that's your technical, this is your, how you play this one. You can see a little bit of a bull flag there. It's kind of tough. Let me just get a better, not just a loose line, let's get a specific. Let me get to the 4 hour to get this. That top wick there, it tried to break out there, got rejected, so this is going to be it right here. There you go. There's your bull flag. All right. Now there's your, I guess it's kind of a wedge. Yeah, and you see it kind of came back to it right there pretty close. That's nice. That's nice. Nice touch. Here's your liquidity zone right here. Can't get below that. Can't get below that or you're in trouble. So what happened, let me just tell you all the story, how the market reacted to this and what I'm seeing here. All right, so this is tradable. This is tradable, and it's looking like a decent setup in progress right now. Hopefully we get some more consolidation out here. All right, so the market right here, we had, I mean, it's obviously been in a very bullish uptrend. Beautiful bullish uptrend. You've gone from a uptrend to a parabolic uptrend state. Again, these are tradable. This one's a scary tradable though, because it's gone kind of uber parabolic, and you're in the uber parabolic phase. But you know they can stay pretty parabolic for a while, especially crypto. So you're kind of in this uber parabolic state right now too. There's another line to watch, kind of upper uber parabolic trend line. All right, something like that. So we had this bit of consolidation. Price came into here. It saw a top here. Sellers, you know, obviously did their thing. We consolidated. Right here is interesting to me because it tried to break out of this bit of a downtrend. This touch, 3 touches. One. Hold on, let me get my little pen out here. Stop it. Get out of my way. All right. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, and then buyers broke it and they got a harsh rejection. But this is that liquidity. This is where buyers came in pretty strong with that big green candle, finally broke it. And then we came back to that same general area, sold off to it. And this is another liquidity zone right here, right? I think I would love some coaching from Heath. Heath and I need to do, I was a guest on his a couple weeks ago now, but I've been so busy. I need him as a guest on mine because I need his coaching right here. I would love to get his coaching right here, right now, and tell me how he sees these two. I think he's going to tell us that this. Hold on. Yeah, the bottom one's more important because it's the daily. That's it. That's a clear answer. So I don't need Heath to tell me that, but he might be able to coach me on this a little bit better. But you see, this is the daily close as well. Daily close and the daily open. So we had a strong, you know, we just had it wasn't a strong rejection. It was just a rejection of this breakout here. And this is where the 18 level, this is where, yeah, is it 8? No, it's 17.9. Let's get rid of this second line here. 17.9, right around 18 cents is where the market came in strong and bought and pushed up strong. And then now we came back to test this level, and we're looking for a resumption out of here. On a 4 hour, you get the 12 hour is my favorite buy. Like on crypto, I like to wait for 12 hour. Hopefully you get some consolidation here and you get a good resumption signal off of a test wick where it comes down right into that area, buys off strong, and you resume off of that. That'll give you a really good buy signal. Now you're waiting for a buy signal right now. No problem. I don't know if it was that detailed. I usually do it when I work on projects. I do a lot more. I spend like at least 30 minutes reading through the white paper, and then looking at the website. Spend at least an hour or two looking at projects before I make, I really come to a conclusion on them. My thoughts on I love Engine. Engine's my favorite gaming / NFT play. Yeah, so I hold a little bit of Engine. So I have like 1, maybe 2%. I haven't calculated it of my. I've got like 10 different things and just like this random, my MetaMask and or all these like little wallets that I have that have these tiny amounts. But Engine is one of them that I hold a little bitty bit of. But I like it. I like it a lot. Engine's great. So it's a gaming NFT play, right? So they have a platform which you can build. You can deploy. Game makers can deploy non-fungible tokens for in-game items on their platform, and it's really cool. There's another. Somebody brought it up on the live stream a couple weeks ago. I did go buy some of it. Actually, after looking into it more, it's another play like that. I have to go find the name now. I don't remember the name of it even. I bought a little bit of another coin. It's both an NFT, but it also has a game engine. So it's actually a game engine that you can build simple games on, and then also deploy your non-fungible tokens in game using the game engine and the cryptocurrency. So it's kind of a cool hybrid engine / game engine. And if somebody's on it, I don't remember. So Tanner? How did you find LBC? Oh yeah, thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. Good night, Vern. Polls. I've looked at polls before. Polkastarter. Yeah, Polkastarter is great. It's great. Great stuff. I get so spread so thin. I just can't. I'm so invested in Polkadot itself. I built a nice position in Polkadot. I just don't have any polls. I just don't really. But these smaller tokens that are being launched on the Polkadot ecosystem are just fantastic opportunities. They could, really moon hard. Polkastarter is one of them. I don't have any just because the total adjustable market for a like a crowdsourcing incubator is not, to me, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. So the point of it is it enables projects to raise capital in decentralized environment. So, when you look at so if you ever go, I actually was just looking at helping somebody on Kickstarter. So I funded somebody that needed some help on Kickstarter recently, or whatever you call that, charity work. And Kickstarter is sitting there, asking me for a donation to help fund their operations. They don't make a ton of money, right? So what's the total adjustable market for a crowdsourcing VC play? That's what Polkastarter is. That's what basically that's the analog I would give it is like a Kickstarter, but for cryptos. So what's the upside for a middleman in that market? I don't know that it's that big, so I'm not gonna buy a whole lot of Polkastarter because I don't know that the total addressable market of that type of thing is going to be that big. Now, it might be very important. Polkastarter is probably going to be very important to the ecosystem and probably very important for a lot of projects that are trying to get off the ground to use it. So it's a very important project, but what's the market value of it? I'm fine just playing Polkadot myself and just having Polkadot, and that's my play on some of these smaller projects. Reef is one Reef and 2 or 3 others that I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a specific project I do want to be involved in. Let's go look at Reef real fast. So cross-chain trading. Oh yeah, this is the yield engine, smart liquidity aggregator. So the liquidity part of it, the reason I like Reef is they are touching on the derivatives market is going to be a huge market soon, and so they can play in that space. Where is their website? Let's go to the website real fast. It's now on Binance. Look at that. Yeah, so this is a liquidity. There was something specific. I was trying to remember. I'm gonna try to find it for you guys real fast on Reef. Why I went and bought it. It wasn't like the main liquidity providers. Okay, I like the liquidity providers in general better than just a straight DEX, decentralized exchange. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I should probably explain this stuff. Decentralized exchange is what, if you use like a Uniswap and you want to exchange tokens without having to go through like a centralized, so Binance or Gemini or Coinbase, they're all centralized exchanges. So it's one central company that allows you to exchange through them. Decentralized exchanges allow you to exchange tokens without an intermediary company, right? So decentralized mechanisms like Uniswap is an example, the biggest one. I'm not too big on that market because it's a big race to zero. But the liquidity part of it, so being able to provide and get liquidity out of the market and get returns, so that's part of the whole DeFi thing. So the liquidity plays are okay. But I'm really interested specifically in the ability to intermediate synthetic transactions. So REN is another one, right? So I went ahead and got involved with Reef because it's multi-pronged, and they do touch on an area that I want to be involved in. So Reef is super early, super small market cap as far as I remember. Yeah, $119 million. So I thought the total addressable market with this is huge, but because they play it, they can enable synthetic assets, which is a huge market. So polls, yeah, we want to talk to polls. We talked to Reef. Oh, okay, I see. So the LBC thing is used by video platforms to pay creators with it. If it's getting real world adoption like that, it's worth keeping an eye on. That's another thing. I mean, it's like, I could be totally wrong. I might think it's a terrible idea, and there's people out there who are clamoring for something that I don't get it, right? It may just very well be a lot of these things I don't get. What's your thoughts on SNX? I love SNX. SNX is great. Synthetics, beautiful, huge, humongous potential. Like, if I was to put the potential of, here's the derivatives, synthetics is the #1 derivatives player right now, right? The total addressable market for the leader in derivatives, the derivatives market in crypto is just monstrously huge. Now, the derivatives market is gargantuan. Like, somebody who enables a derivatives market, like, their market cap isn't going to be anywhere near like the derivatives market per se. But nonetheless, the ability to create and orchestrate derivatives, because the derivatives market is so big, the ability to create and orchestrate that is very, very lucrative. So that's where synthetics is huge upside. I mean, where are they at in the market? Like, they could be top 10 easy. Easy. Synthetics could be top 10. Where are they at? At 37. They're getting up there. So where are they at now? See, synthetics, I mean, this is one of the higher upside coins on the top, outside of the top 10 right now. I'm gonna do this for you guys real fast. The highest upside coins out of the top 10. Let's just go do that little fun exercise. Aave's one. Aave's up there. I don't think Monero has that high of upside really, all in all. VeChain's up there. VeChain's VeChain doesn't have the same upside that Synthetics does, but VeChain still has a lot of upside from even where it's at. The graph is monster upside. Monster. Synthetics has more upside than the graph, though, and it's below it. There you go. Synthetics has more upside than the graph, which has monstrously huge upside. Like, the graph is going to compete with Link, and that's probably what's dragging Link's market cap down a little bit here. Chainlink is API 3 and the graph. The graph isn't going to directly compete. The graph indirectly competes with Link, but it will not be hard for them to take the it's like the indexing service. So the graph was a centralized indexing service before it launched into a crypto, as far as I'm aware. So this indexing service capability, they're primarily focused on inside of crypto right now to allow indexing querying across multiple cryptos and using the Web3 ecosystem. But it can be used to the outside world too, which is the biggest market. That gateway between crypto and the outside world is why I'm so bullish on Chainlink, that Oracle space. But the graph is huge upside. Now, Synthetics has just as much, if not more, upside than the graph does, being that intermediary for synthetic for derivatives. The question is Synthetics going to be totally dominant in that space? There's probably going to be I don't know. Both spaces are going to have huge competition, and both spaces are hugely lucrative. So, yeah, like synthetics, the graph, some of my favorite ones on this list. Man, the graph is way up at 34. My goodness, I did not know that. That was way smaller. Filecoin, I don't like it. I don't get it anyway. I just don't understand it. I don't understand the point of it. This needs to die. Pancake swap. What's silly nonsense. OX is okay. Ren's another huge. Ren is huge upside. The Ren VM is what powers Wrap Bitcoin right now. So anything, again, that synthetic market, that's, you know, the ability to implement, to deploy Bitcoin or other assets across, you know, different. But the Ren VM is what enables that. So Ren's got huge upside too. All right, back to questions. What's your thoughts on SNX? So did I answer your question, Jared, on SNX? I mean, it can fly. XRP still top 10 for years. Interesting. Oh no, XRP is not going to be top 10 for not much longer. Yeah, XRP is going to be out of the top 10 soon. Along with Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, they will be out of the top 10 soon. Stellar, I think Stellar will pass up XRP for too long. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these probably like Aave and VeChain and the Graph. Maybe not so much VeChain. Aave, the Graph, Synthetics. Those are coming to take those top 10 spots and push like Litecoin and XRP and Bitcoin Cash out. XLM's good. I don't hold it long term because I don't, the whole cross-border settlement. Now, people get confused about this all the time. Cross-border payments is one thing, and that's easy to do. Cross-border settlement is a little bit more complicated and it is harder, and so having a dedicated protocol for cross-border settlements, there is some play there. But I think, again, Cardano is going to murder that space. They have that built in. Like, so why would you use this outside protocol when you can do it natively in a chain? And then Polkadot's going to enable that through different parachain products. I mean, different parachain slots will have the ability, and they'll have that kind of built into the main chain. So DOT and ADA are going to kill XLM on the long term eventually, and XRP obviously is. XRP and XLM are both eventually going to fade away, but for whatever use cases that are out there that XRP had, they should flow to XLM over time. That's the way to look at it. So XRP was number 3. I think the market's going to figure out that they should have never been number 3 even to begin with because their use case isn't that big. And then every whatever use case there is going to move to Stellar. So, or I think it should. What I think about Algorand? Algorand's good. The problem with Algorand, or Algorand. I need to go to bed. We're going to wrap up after this. Literally, I mixed Algorand and Elrond and Algorand together. Elrond and Algorand are both two really good layer 1 blockchains. Both of them have features about them that are very good, but they don't have the complete story that Cardano has, and they don't have the ecosystem that like Polkadot has. So Elrond, Algorand, they'll have their use cases. Like Algorand is used right now for USDCs on Algorand, for example. Elrond, I believe aren't they based in like Greece or something? Elrond. They have a few technical advantages, but not nearly like when you look at the ability to use, like, so what Cardano's doing with their, the IEV, and what do they call that? Ayala, where you can like use any programming language on that you want. So if you're a Java developer, you can write in the future you'll be able to write smart contracts with Java, or if you're a .NET programmer or whatever, you'll be able to write smart contracts on Cardano with whatever programming language you want. And then also the innovation that Cardano has on like allowing non-programming people to build smart contracts using a GUI and just like a snap and play. That type of innovation is going to murder all these other lesser, these other projects that are like they're trying to, like, everybody was so focused on the whole trilemma, scalability, security, and the crypto, what the heck? Crypto trilemma. I'm getting tired, man. This is what I'm talking about. Decentralization, thank you, goodness gracious. Decentralization built. So security, decentralization, and scalability, right? They're all everybody was so fixated on trying to solve this, but there's a lot of other things that layer 1 solutions need to solve. Get out of my face. And so let's go back to Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin's bounced a little bit here back up to this trend line. Let's see if we get a resumption down. So we bounced up into it, and then we'll see if we resume down now. But the other bigger problems are, right now, to write a smart contract, you really have to know Ethereum Solidity, right? So it's one very specific programming language, and it's okay for writing smart contracts, but there's 99.99% of developers in the world don't know Solidity, and they don't want to learn it just to write a smart contract. And then there's a lot of people who work in the world of finance that don't want to learn programming to be able to write smart contracts, right? So things outside of the cryptocurrency trilemma that need to be addressed, and that's what like Cardano is working on. And then Polkadot is a very different view of enabling this whole ecosystem they have, and being an incubator of and a central point for new small cryptocurrency projects. So both of those are so unique and have such unique advantages over all of the rest of the pond of layer 1 solutions. So Binance Coin is one of them. So BNB, Binance Smart Chain, BSC, is from a next gen perspective is nothing. It's not nearly as capable as Cardano or Polkadot. So all of those other layer 1s, like EOS is another, EOS, Algorand, Elrond, Zilliqa, however you say it, all of those they have like one or two cool things about them, but they don't have the full package of stuff that a Polkadot or Cardano has, and they just can't compete. It's that simple. So there's my answer for all that. So I got Kelvin, I'm going to wrap up here. Take a look at chart for KR1 OTC symbol. European stock collects altcoins and acts like a VC. Yeah, let's look at that real fast. I'm going to take these last few. I'm going to be real fast about these, and I need to wrap up. I'm getting tired. Just trying to study. I'm forgetting things like decentralization is important to crypto. Obviously, I'm not of much use if I can't remember that. All right. What on earth? This is nuts. I don't have this can't be. What am I looking at? I have to go to a weekly chart. It's an OTC name, but good night. That's got such low liquidity. It's insane. I'm gonna drop down here. What is going on with this chart? I don't know what to tell you, man. This is crazy. I would Elias DOT. I would sell DOT at the height of this bull market, like I would sell all of the cryptocurrencies, because they are gonna probably go through a pretty rough bear market phase. But I mean, when you get a blow off top in any asset that you hold, you gotta trim it at least. So Polkadot, yeah, you could hold it for another, I don't know, 5-10 years if you really just want to hold on to it and not try to trade in and out of it. Getting your 12%, return on your staking rewards is really nice, but here's the problem. DOT is going to tank worse in the bear market than a lot of others, because DOT is inflationary. So because they have such high yield, 12%, the token supply is constantly increasing. So again, so it's inflationary in nature and to operate. Now I believe they do have them capped. They are capped at some point, but I don't remember the mechanisms exactly for the tokenomics of how that's capped. But nonetheless, it is definitely inflationary how they operate. So that means more new coins are coming into the market every day. So in the bear market, when there's more sellers than there are buyers, it's going to tank hard because of that. So the 12% yield is probably not going to save your returns in comparison to the losses you're going to experience in the bear market. At least Cardano was a much smaller. One of the reasons it has a much smaller payout with the staking rewards, it's like, I don't think it's like 4 or 5% staking rewards, is because you're getting 4 or 5%, but then on top of it, Cardano is deflationary. So that means that now while there are coins locked up in the treasury, there's a large quote-unquote float, people say. It's not really a float, it's locked up in the treasury for funding future developments on the network, which as a Cardano holder you'll be able to vote on. It's like a stock, but it's deflationary. So in the bear market, when there's more sellers than there are buyers, at least supply is going to be taken out every day, right? It's a deflationary market, other than the capital raises for funding future projects that are already kind of pre-assigned lots that are being rolled out. So if you think of it like an equity, it's like a company that's very aggressively buying back their stock is how Cardano's working, whereas Polkadot's like a company that's constantly issuing small amounts of stock. So in the bear market phase, Cardano's I think some projects are going to hold up better than others, and Polkadot's going to be one that probably loses pretty solidly. Yeah, I don't have on this Kara one thing. I don't know what to tell you. This chart's too crazy for me to even comment on. Oh yeah, DOT is more concentrated. That's another problem with DOT. But they're really decentralized though. Like they are very decentralized. So that, while it's concentrated, it's not. Yeah, it could cause more price spikes and stuff. Hey man, what are the main? So Mark, last question, and I'm wrapping up. What are the main differences between Cardano and DOT, and which stage projects start appearing in Cardano? Cardano is going to be the best combination of provable technology for a layer 1 blockchain, as well as it has a monstrous amount of innovation with enabling access to the crypto world. And so you look at, like, I posted a video about Charles Hoskinson, who's the main founder. There's a couple founders, but the main founder of Cardano. Talking a lot about why they're working so much with Africa to enable the bankless system in Africa. They have a lot of innovation and opening the floodgates to developers all around the world to be able to get involved in crypto and write smart contracts, and then also non-developers to get involved in the game, right? So I think that those two things are going to make it a killer for most other layer 1 protocols in the near future. Other layer 1 protocols will have to specialize more. So Algorand will have to be they're already probably the fastest transactions per second, as far as I'm aware of anyway. So they can already process a lot of transactions per second because of how they work. So that'll be their specialty. They'll be a very inexpensive, fast, but that's it. That's all they'll be. And then your Zalikas will have they're a sharded network, which Polkadot's a sharded network. So I don't get Zalika. Zalika's not going to do anything because Polkadot is also sharded, and it's a sharded network too, and it has a lot more going for it. So the main difference with Polkadot is a core network that allows other blockchains to snap into. So it's got these things called parachains. Each parachain is basically its own entire cryptocurrency project that snaps into it. There are, I think, 128 parachain slots. There's a lot of competition to be on the main Polkadot network. So two things. They've got something called Substrate, which is a developer network. So basically all of their IP that makes the core of Polkadot, you can write a protocol, you can write a blockchain using Substrate that mirrors all the goodness of the main Polkadot network and all the sharded capabilities. And you can do what you want with it. You can tweak what variables you want to do your project. And you snap in as a shard, and the main chain orchestrates all these shards. You are just a portion now of the main chain, which means that you snap directly in. Let me show you the Polkadot's website. When you snap in as a parachain, so you're a parachain, you're one of these little things on the outside here, this little gray box, these little pink things. You snap into the main network. So it's an incubator for new projects, and it's highly competitive. There's only so many of them that can fit on this main network, and the rest of them are left out in the cold on Kusama. Kusama is their testnet network. This is where you would go if you don't get selected for parachain and you want to do some testing and validation. And the newest technology is always on Kusama. It's like, from an investment perspective, don't buy Kusama, buy Dot. But Polkadot interconnects all these, and they allow you native interconnection to other major blockchains like, Bitcoin and Ethereum and so on and so on. So you'll have, with Polkadot, if you're like Polkadot, let me just leave it as a simple analogy just to wrap this up. Polkadot is the Etsy of cryptocurrency, okay? It allows developers who don't want to have to build their own blockchain, which is a lot of work, but they don't want to be on somebody else's blockchain. They're not interested in just writing smart contracts or being a token on Cardano. They don't want their own token. They want their own blockchain. So they can use Polkadot substrate and write their own blockchain very simply using a bunch of tools that are already built for them, and snap into Polkadot and have access to all the main chains and have all this intercommunication with all these other projects going on there. And so it's like I said, it's like the Etsy, maybe like the Shopify. It's like, so Polkadot's the Shopify and the Etsy of cryptocurrency. Cardano is the Google and the Facebook and the Amazon, right? It's a platform that enables, it's going to dominate in a lot of very key ways, but it enables so many things. So that's the best analogy I can give you, right? So think of Polkadot as the Shopify and Etsy of cryptocurrency, and think of Cardano as the Google and Amazon of cryptocurrency. So there you go. I hope that helps you. Yeah, Cosmos. Here's the question on what's the market potential for allowing communication within cryptocurrencies, especially as these bigger projects are building interconnectivity directly, right? Cardano and Polkadot and Ethereum are all going to talk directly to each other. They don't need a Cosmos. Cosmos is needed for like the really small projects to talk to each other. As small projects inevitably are going to get absorbed by bigger these aggregators like Polkadot. So you're going to have a few big aggregator projects like Polkadot that absorb all these, that allow them to talk directly. And so nobody's going to want to build their own small little blockchain anymore and do all the work that it takes to build your own blockchain when you can just go snap into either Kusama or Polkadot. Or Cardano also they have Rust. So Cardano has something similar to this, by the way. It's just not their focus. With Rust, you can write your own chain. It's a side chain to Cardano, and you get all the goodness of Cardano and snapped into the ecosystem as well. So Cardano and Polkadot are going to absorb a lot of these small projects that were doing all this work of building their own chain before, because they didn't want to just be an ERC20 token on Ethereum. They needed their own chain for some reason. There's a reason, like VeChain is an example. They need their own chain because they have special things they need to do on chain. And so now, like VeChain, if they don't want to have to maintain their own chain anymore, they could just flip over to being a Polkadot, parachain. That would be a lot easier for them, down the road, or somebody like, so these other, but much smaller projects than like VeChain. VeChain probably big enough now that they can maintain their own chain, but much smaller projects, it's much better for them to snap into a bigger ecosystem. And even like Binance Smart Chain would be an example. Binance Smart Chain technically is far inferior to Polkadot and Cardano, but that's another one. It's still better than Ethereum, and you can snap in. But I don't think they allow you. Actually, no, never mind. It's a bad example. Binance Smart Chain doesn't have that same mechanism. But yeah, I don't know. So Cosmos, it's a dwindling market. And it really allows intercommunication for really small projects, which I think are going to end up being absorbed into Polkadot and Cardano and the bigger chains anyway. So I don't see it. And the market value, what's the market value for being? They're also going to get their lunch eaten by the graph. The graph is going to completely destroy the graph. The way that the graph works is so much more efficient than the way Cosmos works. So yeah, I think between the graph, Polkadot, and Cardano, like there's just not a lot of room left for Cosmos. They're not going to die. They'll still be a project. They'll still be around because it is a valuable service for small, chains to be able to use something to intercommunicate with the rest of the crypto world without having to build a bunch of interconnections to all these bigger projects. But I don't know long term. Like they don't have the same upside as like a Link or you know, Chainlink does, who allows communication in the outside world. All right, I'm done. I'm tired. I gotta go to bed. It's 11:30. Oh my goodness. What's Bitcoin doing? 11:30 my time. We bounced back a little bit here. Let's see what happens tonight. Yeah, we hit this trend line. Look at that touch. Insane, huh? I didn't touch it. I mean, y'all know I didn't touch the trend line. We'll see. We hit that line that I drew. Bounce up to that trend line. Let's see if 55,241 ends up being the point the market catches there. I mean, you can see buyers came in here for now. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this develops. My guess is that we ping pong here, we drop down, we get a little bit of support at 53, and at some point, one of these supports, when it breaks, it's going to be like just an avalanche of people dumping. Liquidity is just going to get completely purged. All right, I got to run, guys. Thank you.